Hello, everyone. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and always am so excited to have you here live. Today, I'm going to be talking about the cycles of expansion. And what that is, there's this reality that we are in constant expansion. You can think of it as we're always growing, but it's not the way the mind thinks about growth. Like, I've always got to improve and get ahead and get better. It's not that. It's the expansion of who you truly are. We're always in a process of expanding into more. And that's actually meant to be a really delightful expression, a delightful movement through life, but it can get really glitchy and painful because there's so many ways that we resist this expansion, particularly in one part of this cycle, which I'm going to talk about a lot in our session today. So if you've been in a space where you're really asking for more health, more wealth, more joy, more fun, more abundance, more of whatever in life, it is because on some level, you're already naturally flowing with your expansion. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the cycles of expansion. And the cycles of expansion are something we're always moving through, but we don't always understand that we are expansive beings by nature. And so we don't really allow that expansion. And it can get really glitchy because we're in resistance. So then there's pain instead of that growth. So if you've had the awareness that you want to receive more love, more joy, more health and vitality, more freedom, you're already tuning into this natural expansion. But then if there's this space of like, oh, what do I have to do to make it happen? Or I have to work really hard at it. Or it feels like a struggle and you're battling life, that is not expansion. It could be seen as growth, and the mind can kind of use that as a plan of attack of self-improvement. That is not what your expansion is meant to be about. There are 3 cycles of this expansion, and there's one of them where we can get into a lot of glitchiness and a lot of pain and a lot of turmoil, and it can leave us actually in resistance to receiving what that expansion is, to receiving the more joy, love, freedom, wealth, health, vitality. And when we learn to move through this smoothly, it is so much easier. So I wanted to share today, especially because it's fall, and in the fall, there's a lot of expansion happening, and we're really called to meet our grief or our despair. And that can be one of the glitchiest energies to move through. So if that kind of sounds like something you resonate with as you're on your own expansion into more, definitely want to stay present to today's episode of MindBody TV. So welcome to everyone who is joining live. I would love to hear where you're joining from and where you are right now in your own cycle of expansion or just in your own personal growth. Do you think, oh, I have to improve myself, or I'm trying to be better, or I'm trying to get the thing I want? And has it been a little bit glitchy? Hello, Joanne and Jenny. It's always so great to see people that are familiar faces. So yeah, shout out a hello, or share where you're from, or share something about what your journey is like right now. What's the quality of your journey? Are you enjoying your expansion? Or is it like, oh, just get me off the planet. I don't want to do this anymore. How are you feeling? Hello, Rachel. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. I've been a physician for many years now, but I've changed my practice because of really being more of an intuitive and being aware of what's going on in people's bodies. That's really holding back health, that's really holding back expansion, and being able to specifically assist with opening us to what allows the physical body to thrive, opening us to release old ways of seeing things, to release old energies that we've held, to release old ways of being that we don't always have access to. I did just create an awesome audio to assist with expansion. And this is a process that I use with private clients to kind of read into their system and feel like, where's the energy held back? Conclusions they've made about their body, judgments they've held about their body, ways where it's like, no, it's not okay for me to show up fully in the world. And so they're in an energetic blueprint that doesn't allow the full expression of them, an energetic blueprint that doesn't allow them to really receive source, receive everything they need. And so this will be available to everyone who's in our membership. This is the last time we're broadcasting live this way, where everyone's invited to the live, and moving forward, it will be for members only. So if this is something that really resonates with you, you are invited to join and be here live each week on Wednesday. We'll be in the same time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and have your questions answered. Participate in our Facebook group. We're going to have just for members so that I can give a lot more attention to those who do want to show up for the live membership. For everyone else, you will have access to the replay a few weeks later and to the podcast a few weeks after that. But for those who want to receive the live and participate live and have your questions answered, and there's also a lot of bonus content that I'm creating. It's at drkimd.com/membership. And you can join at any time. You can cancel at any time. It's an ongoing subscription. So I would invite all of you to come and play and continue live there, or even if you're not on the live, that you're in the Facebook group and receiving the content we'll be creating for members. So welcome, hello, Jessica. And that exercise I created is one of the first things you'll get when you register as a member. It's just a really powerful way to create that energetic alignment so that we then are in that blueprint for our physical material expression. Super, super nurturing and nourishing. Okay, so what is the cycle of expansion? We are alive, and by virtue of being alive, we are in constant expansion. Energy wants to move, wants to expand, wants to express. And that is actually good news, because there's more of you that wants to show up. That's what you'll feel as the wanting of more freedom, or the wanting of more joy and fun, or the wanting of more resource and money, or the wanting of more love and nurturance, or whatever, more health. It's always that we're not really receiving the full expression of us. That's the only thing that can be lacking. And that is the most powerful medicine to your physical body. The most powerful medicine. When we can tap into that and allow source to come through and allow the expression of who we are to come through, we become more fully alive and the body can heal. So there's 3 cycles that we move through in this expansion. We are cyclic beings. We all have a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect, and it's that feminine aspect of us, whether we're male or female, that is cyclic, right? Like women go through their monthly cycles, and there's all kinds of hormonal cycles and emotional cycles. But when we suppress the feminine and we try to just be linear, like, nope, I'm just going to be one way and reliable and steady and sturdy, and we're only allowing ourselves to be in our masculine, it creates imbalance. It's not that masculine is better or feminine is better or anything like that. They're both beautiful energies that we reside in. But when we suppress our cyclic nature, or we primarily reside in our masculine and only want to move in that energy of outer and productivity, and I've got to do, and I've got to improve and create, there isn't the allowance of receiving and of harmony in our cyclic nature. So Sylvia Olivier is a mentor of mine who introduced me to this way of seeing our expansion and this 3-step process that we go through. And it's been super useful to me. Mostly the number one thing that's been useful has been the reminder of when I'm in this one middle stage that can feel so uncomfortable. So the cycle is speed up, calibrate, integrate. And have you heard of this before? Boise, Idaho, Reno, Nevada. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Tiffany and Heather and Jenny. Jenny says, oof, I'm so suppressing my expansion with fear and doubt, etc. And this feels tense and painful in my body. Lots of headaches, even anxiety at times, or I'll just end up feeling really numb and shut down. That's the cycle I've been in. Yeah, I can understand that. And Laura says, is there a charge for the membership? Thank you. Yes, it's $10 a month for the subscription. And then you'll be included in our members forum, invited to participate live each week and have your questions answered. Even if you can't come to the physical event live, you'll have an immediate replay and you'll be able to post ahead of time what's coming up for you, what questions, what challenges, what you'd like to hear more about. And then when I create content or EFT videos or audio integrations, I'll create them with the needs of the members in mind. Michael says, thanks for the live session. I struggle to get beyond the mind. I tend to want to do things like CBT or frame my beliefs and thoughts, etc., instead of releasing and letting go into being. I don't know what CBT is, but okay. Yes, I can relate to that, Michael, too. It is, we're so trained to be in the mind, and then we're not allowing ourselves to be in the sensing, which is, again, that feminine aspect. I made a video this week. We sent it out in the newsletter. When did we send it out? Last week, on Thursday, at drkimd.com if you're not subscribed and you would like to subscribe. And it was about this imbalance between the masculine and feminine, where we suppress our cyclic nature, we suppress receiving, we suppress allowing, and we're like, I gotta do it, I gotta do it, I gotta make it happen. And we're in the masculine. And there were a lot of comments where people heard it as an attack on the masculine and only celebrate the feminine. And what the message really is saying is that there's often an imbalance. And then we see this imbalance reflected in our world. And there's all this like suppression when we are in this imbalance of like only honoring the masculine and not only not honoring the feminine, but like trashing it. Like, no, I'm gonna shut that down. So it's kind of interesting to see how that was received as like this wrongness, and it wasn't meant to be that at all, but simply showing that when we're imbalanced, it creates discord physically in your health, in your money, in your relationships, in every aspect of your life. And then that's kind of reflected in the outer world. Emily from Sussex, UK. Thanks for all you're bringing forth. I've never felt such accelerated expansion as I have done in the last several months. It's been intense, but it feels like I'm aligning more and more with my true self. Thank you, Emily. Tiffany says, I'm leaning into my expansion with greater ease. It's been holding tight and letting go cycle. So much is coming so fast, increased nervous system symptoms and muscle tightness, and then release. Then it starts over, and I just breathe and allow as much as I can. That's really beautiful. And that's exactly what we're speaking to here, is how to allow it more fluidly. So the 3 cycles: speed up, calibrate, integrate. Speeding up is when we're invited into something more. We see the vision of it, or someone living that ideal thing we want to be living. Like, whoa, that's so fun. And then we go into the second space, which is where we meet the ways we've already vowed, or we've already chosen, or we've already agreed to, that we don't get to have it. Oh, not for me. Like, oh, I'm so jealous that she gets to do that. Like, we'll see something expansive and it's a speeding up. Maybe it's only a few seconds of feeling speeding up because you immediately move into feeling the brakes that you've put on. Like, oh, but I don't get to have it because I'm not good enough, or I don't get to have it because I'm not trained in blah, 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 or whatever your energy system alignment is, you will begin to feel it. And that calibration is actually an invitation to allow an unwinding. Like Tiffany says, I just relax and breathe into it. The more, like, the better we get at that, the more willing we are to feel what we feel and allow, the more we smoothly move through that second stage of the calibration. So the speeding up is anytime, like I have a girlfriend right now who has been struggling in her relationship. And she said, well, I just don't feel like I'm really getting what I need. And then there are all these conclusions, but it wouldn't be okay if I asked for it. But I don't think my partner is really open to going into a different way of doing our relationship. And the speeding up, which can be painful when we kind of like meet our own holds, is the invitation, like, whoa, it's available. You wouldn't be invited to it if it weren't already available. So she has this vision of like, oh, I really want more, but oh, I don't think I can have it. And then she's more residing in the pain of it rather than the invitation of what's possible. And so many of us, we do that. But the speeding up can also be like something falling apart, where it's like, that doesn't work anymore, or I'm sick, I can't keep operating in this current framework, I've got to let something more expansive come in. So it's that invitation to more. And then the calibration is the second stage. And then the third stage is integrate, where we're living the fruition of it. It's that calibration stage that can be so uncomfortable and have us think something's wrong. And so what so often we do is, let me just not desire anything new. Let me just put the lid on desires because I don't want to go through the pain of calibration. Not realizing that that doesn't work because we are by nature expanding. We are always expanding. So it's going to create physical illness or chronic fatigue or autoimmune syndromes and immune suppression or chronic infections because of the immune suppression when we try to put the lid on our own expansion. I have seen this a zillion times, and it is the basic core of what keeps people sick. And it primarily is women because we need more of that feminine energy as a generality, although it's very typically happening for men too because there's so much suppression of the feminine energy, of the cyclic nature of the expansion. All right, Christine says, I'm very in and out at the moment. My doctor really wants me to do less and just feel more, okay? And he's just a regular doctor, but that really resonates with me since listening to you and Abraham, which some of you may not know. Abraham is a collective consciousness expressed through a woman named Esther Hicks, where she'll kind of share these insights and inspirations and wisdom. Christine goes on to say, I still have anxiety and lots of pain, but I'm just allowing myself to relax, sleep more, meditate, be at home, and feel whatever comes up. Awesome. That is the best thing to do when we're in the calibration. It can be really uncomfortable. It can be kind of glitchy. And it can be like all these things I didn't want to feel that now I'm feeling. So the speeding up is what has us take the lid off of our suppression and let more in. And then it's like, ooh, now that I just let more in, I'm really feeling it. In fact, someone mentioned today in my Embracing Health group, while the more I've embraced, the more I just feel more despair, the more I feel more, she said, the frustration and disappointment of not being where I want to be. And so that's the space to allow the calibration, is to allow, I am willing to feel that more. The more isn't what I wanted, of what I'm feeling, of what's coming to the table, because even though it doesn't feel good initially, when we allow it, that energy moves. It is the more that we're asking for, but at first is like the release of the suppression. When we release the suppression, all the unloved parts are like the first to come up and receive love. So it's like saying, I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. Oh, except not those bad parts. Don't you dare pipe up. I'm not going to love you. Stay repressed and suppressed. We're moving forward to something else. That's how we treat ourselves. So what if we could allow the speeding up and love and accept myself fully, unconditionally, no matter what parts of me are expressing or what I'm feeling. And then that invites the energy to move. And the more that comes up are all these parts that are like, really? Because I don't feel so good and I don't look so good. And are you going to love me if I come to the table and express? And so we just allow all of these energies to move and to move and to move. And in the calibration, we need a lot of TLC. Like physically touch your body, take some Epsom salt bath, get extra sleep, take stuff off your agenda. Like there is nothing more important than showing up for you today. So when you're feeling it and you're in that calibration of like, it's so intense, you want to make space for more. You want to embrace more love, not less, so that you can allow the energy to move. Christine says, cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay, great. CBD. Michael, thank you. All right, welcome to Rita as well. Christine goes on to say, I just went through a breakup and the death of a pet, and my friend lost her mother, and I know myself. Normally, I just want to run and do. Yeah, that's like an escape to feel what you're feeling. It's a coping mechanism, but eventually you've got to go beyond that and be willing to feel what you feel. She says, normally, okay, but this time I just felt like I had to allow myself to love myself and take care of myself to spare my body from more stress. That is the way to move through a calibration into the expansion, which is the fruition of what we're integrating. So you want to integrate, we're always integrating more love in whatever form that is, more health, more joy in our relationships, more intimacy, more wealth. It's all forms of love, true wealth anyway. And when we're integrating that, we've got to be willing to allow all the ways we've held it and withheld it to come up. And that's why that calibration can be so uncomfortable, because it's asking us to let go of the walls that we've put in place to protect ourselves, to make sure, okay, here's the paradigm of my reality. I'm not going to get what I need. I've got to fight everyone else. I've got to get ahead and keep going. So I got to put these things in place so I don't think about my dreams, and I don't get distracted, and I don't become a softie and let people in because I'm going to get hurt. So we put these walls up, but they actually block our expansion. They will never enhance our expansion, because we must receive in order to allow our expansion. And we've got to let those walls of protection dissolve, because it's not true we have to fight our way through life. It's not true we have to claw our way to the top. It's not true everyone's out to get us and we have to fight against everything. And the body does translate that, and then it's like fight or flight, or autoimmune disease, and all of this. Rachel says, I get this feeling when I see people who are really healthy and well and are able to do so much more than I can. I'm always like, am I missing out if I can't do something they can? And this brings in feelings of low self-esteem. It's like self-punishing. I get frustrated if I feel other people don't fully appreciate all the good things in their life, like their good health. I wish I didn't get these thoughts. So in the calibration, we release resistance. So it's like, okay, these are the thoughts I'm having, and these are the feelings I'm feeling. And can I allow this to be exactly as it is? Because what it really is energy moving. What it really is myself transmuting, so that I can choose to release those old ways of being, to release those old conclusions, and to integrate something higher. We are all moving toward the integration of, I love and accept myself fully. I fully show up in my world and receive all I need. So I sent out, was it last week? I can't even keep track of the dates right now. I sent out, it was last week in the newsletter. I think that other video is going out this week in the newsletter. But I sent out this exercise where we release all these old ways of being that have it be so painful. And we embrace all of these. It was in the form of affirmations, but we do it in a way that aligns. It like allows us to receive them so that we can integrate something higher. So as soon as you do an affirmation like, I have everything I need and I live in bliss, all of the things that are against that will come up more loudly. No, I don't. I can't have that. That's crap. She's way too happy. She has no idea the pain I'm in. This isn't going to work for me. This is BS. I'm not going to get what I need. See that. Take a deep breath. Witness that. That's your magic moment. It's the moment that you say, oh, that's what I'm really holding. So sometimes we take on more than we can chew with like a quote unquote affirmation or an expansion, and we're like, oh, it's going to be awesome. And then like the crap really hits the fan of all the ways we're holding that it's not awesome. It's okay to do it that way too, because then we really see what we're holding. And it's a nice invitation to go gentle with yourself and begin to embrace something like, even though I really don't feel great right now, it's okay to feel what I'm feeling. When we're really in that calibration, we don't need to go to happy dappy bliss. Like, just let yourself embrace, it's okay to feel what I feel. That's why so many people have asked me, like, is it really okay to feel bad? Because I don't want to feel bad. If I make it okay to feel bad, then I'm not going to ever be motivated to feel good. That is total crap. Your nature is to feel good. But sometimes feeling good is just getting off your own back about the fact that you feel bad. I know for me, this was mega. I would beat myself up for feeling bad. What did I do? Did I eat the wrong thing? Did I drink the wrong thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Did I not do my meditation this morning? And I should have done my meditation, because if I did it, then I wouldn't get all glitchy when I ran into this person. What if I just let myself feel as bad as I feel and get myself off the hook and make it totally okay that I feel what I feel? It's okay that I feel so icky and grungy. And then a little light bulb goes off and I remember I'm in a calibration. Something awesome is happening right now. And if I can just breathe through it, even if it still feels bad in the next 5 breaths, I am allowing it to a greater degree. It's gonna move when it moves. It's an hour, it's a day, it's a month, I don't know. the more I'm willing to move through calibration, the more it's a shorter period of time because it moves more fluidly. So if you witness, okay, I'm in this calibration, 3 stages of expansion, it's about expansion. It's about me receiving more of what I'm most powerfully asking for. And so if I can just be a little more gentle with myself, that calibration stage will be way more smooth. And then I can begin to be really loving and generous with myself. And the calibration stage can be fully enjoyed. Like really enjoyed. If you have like a pot simmering on the stove, you're like, oh, it's cooking this amazing meal and I can smell it and I can kind of enjoy it, even if it's not fully integrated and on the table with a spoon and I'm eating it. I can enjoy the calibration. That was like mind-blowing to me when I first began to experience it. And the way I experienced it was by first allowing the calibration, like it's okay, I feel what I feel, and then appreciating the calibration. Wow, even though it really is mucky, that's because so much muck is moving. Just imagine what that's creating space for. And then being in a celebration of it, like I love what I'm feeling because I know this is just the pot cooking for all of the more that I've been asking for. And it's like I can taste it and smell it and feel it because I feel the calibration. Randy says, Randy, I have something so funny to tell you because she says, oh my gosh, this is all caps, exactly what I've been going through the last months. When I was preparing this morning and I sent my social media assistant the message of what I was going to talk about today, I started feeling into it and it was like, I'm 2 degrees off. Oh, is it this? Yeah, it's this. Oh no, that's not quite it. And I took maybe 2 or 3 minutes and I was like, huh. And then I went to the end result, which was, I know when Randy sends those messages and says, this is exactly what I needed to hear today. So I focused in on that of what do they need to receive? What are they really resonating? What does my community really need right now? And I channeled and connected into that this morning. And then it was like, boom, 3 cycles of expansion. And that encapsulated all of the pieces of what I was feeling when I felt into the community. But you were a big part of it because I could feel that reminder of like, Kim, what's it like when you really dial it in and connect so deeply to yourself that it ends up having that experience on the outside? People like Randy, like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. So it's so funny that you posted this today. All right, so Randy says, I couldn't understand why, with all I've opened and expanded to and learned, the shame, especially around my money and my body, has gotten so much worse, to the point where I became paralyzed about my finances and ended up with fees and overdrafts and then felt more shame and judgment on top of that. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm gonna pause here for a second. Exactly in that moment, the circumstances of, oh, I had more overdrafts and then more upheaval or badness, it's inviting more stuff to rise to the surface. So I can invite it. Yes, yes, yes. This is the perfect experience that I'm allowing to come up to meet where I've made myself wrong with money, where I've identified with money as a wrongness, or my choices in money as a wrongness, where I've identified with my current expression in money as a wrongness about me. So all it's bringing up is all the ways I've believed the wrongness about me. And so the experience is coming up to show you what's moving, what's speeding up, what is the invitation. The invitation is, I release all this shame about me. I release all of this about the wrongness of me. All it is, oh, I have an overdraft. Like, I've done it so many times and I'll be like, oh, let me transfer money in or see what I need to do or what needs to happen here. And I used to just, oh my God, I'm so disorganized. Oh my God, I'm so bad with money. Oh my God, I'm so, I don't know, irresponsible or whatever. And that doesn't even happen anymore. And like the overdrafts don't really happen anymore now, but I had to get in total neutrality with them. Like, oh, or like, you use your card and it doesn't work. I had it happen at you pay like $1 to park in town. And it was like, oh, and I used to go, oh, like, did I do something wrong? Did I not put enough in? And it was like, oh, okay, what needs to happen? And now it's like a 2-second thing to like go on the app and like put the money into the account, and it's really no big deal. And that used to happen a lot more frequently, but until I could be in total neutrality with it, it's like it kept happening. Okay. She says, now I have more clarity and understanding as I've been trying to just love that shameful part more. It makes sense that what you were saying is I've allowed more expansion into my life. So all of those things from my childhood and family are coming up to be loved and released. Imagine this will also greatly impact not only my health, frickin' yes, but also how my business can get created and love relationships can show up. Your business can get created, your business will get created very quickly and fluidly, and it will really require so much grounding into this new space and a celebration of all of this calibration, all of this movement, all of this muck coming up, which can be a little glitchy and overwhelming. And that's why the first step is just I allow myself to feel what I feel. Your business will get created very quickly because of how much calibration you are allowing. What you are asking for in your business, or what you're creating in your business, is very, very, very expansive, and it will be a massive contribution to humanity. And so that's why there's so much anchoring in that's required, that has you be like, certainly I can't still be anchoring this. Why haven't I created anything yet? Why haven't I done anything yet? Because you're measuring your progress by what's created in the external world, and it is not. That's going to get created like this. Your progress, quote unquote, is truly what you're integrating, what you're grounding, what you're expanding into. That is your progress, and it might still be in the unseen, but there's so much that gets created in the unseen before that little shoot starts to come up through the ground and we see the plant flourish. That part for you is going to be very fluid and effortless and very quick. Rachel says, I love the affirmations audio. Thank you. We're actually going to put that up on a page. For those of you who don't have it, we'll certainly be putting it in the membership. So if you're signing up for the membership to be here live with me each week at drkimd.com/membership, you can register now. You will have that as part of your what you have in there if you missed it by any chance. Emily says, this is so helpful. I love the affirmations audio too. Thank you so much. And Emily also says, you're so spot on. All right. So speed up, calibrate, integrate. Integrate is we come to the total fruition of it. Like for me, well, for health, I want to have this health. I want to have strength in my body, but I was still fighting my body. I was still fighting because I want to have my agenda and have my success. And I was so afraid of falling behind and of falling off into oblivion if I just surrendered. So I had to let a calibration happen where I released all those ideas about me. And you don't have to actively do that. Just by letting the energy transmute, it happens. So by feeling what you feel and breathing through it. That's the relax and breathe more fully. Relax your body, breathe more fully, over and over and over again. When you're in a calibration, it is not about taking action. It's not about trying to feel better or suppressing what you feel. That will come, but it will come through relax your body, breathe more fully. Because as you relax, you let more release, you let more in. As you breathe more fully, you receive more aliveness and more wisdom and more awareness. So inspired action is like an automatic result of that. Relax your body, breathe more fully. So when you're in that calibration, and this is the part, because the speeding up is going to happen automatically. Life's going to invite you to something more expansive. It's going to show you, or you're going to hear something, or you're going to have a thought. The integration is when you're living in the fruition of it. Like I moved through my calibration and my health was fully restored. I didn't create my health. I didn't make it happen. I didn't find the magic pill box, eat the magic food. I allowed the transmutation to happen. I allowed a lot of things to release, and I allowed myself to receive a lot of things, a lot of insight and awareness and new ways of being. That's what allowed my health to be restored. So that's the integration. But in this calibration, it's like, whoa, I don't want to be in this. I just want to go back and feel how I felt before. We don't realize it's an expansion. It is more. So even if you're like, but I was so happy before, that joy was always limited in some way. You're asking for even more joy and something that's even more expansive throughout all areas of your life. Let yourself go through the calibration. You don't have to go back to when you felt so good. You want to move forward through it into even more. I hope this has been helpful. This is my last live for the world episode of MindBody TV, we will be only in the membership in the future. So if you want to join live and be in that members group where we'll be checking in and creating content specifically for members, it's a low monthly membership fee at drkimd.com/membership. You're all invited. And if you just want to receive the replays, we will post them further out after we've kind of integrated all of this and allowed what's happening in the members area. You will still have access to the replays and the podcast and all of that. There have just been a lot of people asking for, oh, could you do an episode on this? Or, hey, could you create an EFT tapping session on that? Or, hey, I have a question specifically about what's coming up for me. And I want to be able to tailor the content specifically to your needs. So that's why we created this membership, to have more of a community in there. So welcome to those of you who are inspired to be in the membership, and welcome to everyone who is a listener and participating that way. I am always so excited to be creating these episodes moving forward in my expansion, because it's through allowing the expression of me, tuning into my wisdom, that it creates a lot for me as well. So much love for you. I'm just going to look through the rest of the comments. Rita says, it's like playing two roles at once, like being the patient, loving mom and the fussy child at the same time. Yes, you can have those both at the same time. In fact, there's another, it's a video that I'm creating about how can you feel angry and at peace at the same time? Like, aren't those opposites? I can't be angry and at peace, but there's a way that we can allow the witnessing of all the parts of me, all of the things going on in total allowance, that lets all the energy move through fluidly. So I can witness my anger or frustration or despair and still be in love and joy and peace. All right, Michelle says, every time I watch you speak, the more puzzle pieces of my life come together. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Randy says, thank you so much for sharing that story, Kim. I feel so seen and loved, and love and appreciate you so much. Yeah, I get it. I can feel what's going on for you. All right, so beautiful. Hi, Kimberly, as well. And thanks, Maggie, for posting the membership link. If you're not subscribed to drkimd.com, you can go ahead and subscribe there, because we share lots of really great content each week in the newsletter. And I'll also be in the MindBody community on Facebook if you're a Facebook player and you'd like to play there. Lots of love, and I will see you soon.